at the time? Where does it go? So much to craft, so much to sew.
Good morning, gifted crafters. It's crafting time.
Me and my friends are having a great time. It's not face to face, it's all online. We're all in our homes, miles away. Love them like my family, what can I say? My crafting show is on, it's my time for me. Laughter, tips and tricks, this is what I need. We're here to have fun, we're all in the zone. When crafting with friends, you're never alone. Don't call or text me, it's about to begin. I've been patient, time for me to chime in. Comfy clothes on, feeling just fine. I'm busy right now, it's crafting show time. My crafting show is on, it's my time for me. Laughter, tips and tricks, this is what I need. We're here to have fun, we're all in the zone. When crafting with friends, you're never alone. The host came on, they are truly a gem. Here for the show and to chat with my friends. Chat with each other about this and that. We share ideas, wisdom and other fun facts. My crafting show is on, it's my time for me. Laughter, tips and tricks, this is what I need. We're here to have fun, we're all in the zone. When crafting with friends, you'll never...
Live from the Sunshine State in Miami, Florida, here is the Gifted Crafters Morning Show with Nancy.
Let's have a good time. Ooh, time to get our craft on. Ooh, time to have fun. Ooh, time to feel good.
Good morning, Gifted Crafters, and welcome back to the Gifted Crafters Morning Show. Good morning out there. Hello, hello. Alrighty, we've got people from Maryland. We've got San Antonio, Texas, North Central Texas. Let's see, we've got Miami, Florida, Indiana. Hey, Quilting with Harriet. Let's see, we've got people from all over the place. Awesome. There's my friends from Canada. Good morning. Alrighty, awesome. Okay, well, good morning and happy Monday. Yay! We're here for yet another week, and this is going to be another exciting week. We are in Christmas in July, and we've got our last Christmas project that we're going to be showing this month. And we'll be wrapping it up with a pretty short little project. We've done 2 so far this month, and it's been just a lot of fun. And I hope that you guys are getting all of your Christmas projects started, because the countdown has begun and it's going to be here just before you know it. So hopefully you're not waiting for the last minute and you're getting all your supplies ready and maybe starting all those little projects off. All right. Good morning from Alabama, Philadelphia, Louisiana. Good morning to you. All righty, guys, if you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Nancy with GiftsHQ, and we host these daily sessions and just like to talk about anything crafting, sewing, embroidery, anything like that. If you guys love that, and you are definitely in the right place. We share all kinds of tips and tricks, so drop yourself into the chat and say hello. We've got a wonderful community out there, and we like to share tips and help each other out in case you get stuck on something, right? We're always here for you. We've got your back. Alrighty, so of course this morning, go ahead, grab your favorite little drink of whatever it is that you have in the morning. Doesn't really matter. Coffee, tea, soda, we don't judge here. Whatever it is that you have in the morning, go ahead and grab yourself a cup. Pick up your little mug of whatever it is, and I'll pour you something as well, right? So go ahead and lift up your glass and go ahead and take a little sip. I'm gonna have a sip of my little water as well. Yes, water, guys. I have to tell you a little story. I was a little upset. I dropped my GiftsHQ mug and it shattered into a bunch of pieces everywhere. I was so sad. So sad. My little mug, thank goodness I had more than one, right? But my little mug, it was my first mug. I was so excited when we got it, and it shattered into a bunch of little pieces. I had it on the edge of the desk and it tipped over. I had water in it, so water went everywhere. It was just like, it was a mess, guys. It was a mess. I was so upset. But yeah, thank goodness for me. Thank goodness for me that it was water and it wasn't anything else in there, right? Because it could have had coffee everywhere. Well, it was just water. And I had already drank some of it, so it wasn't too bad. But it shattered. I have a tile floor and it just shoom into a million pieces. And of course, bits and pieces of the ceramic mug everywhere. So I had to clean that up. So I was really sad. I was really sad. It was a sad weekend. But we do have another one. So, okay, you know, I have my second one, but that was my first one. So, you know, yeah, I was just, you know, I had it on the edge of the desk. I was having a meeting with people from YouTube, and we were there discussing things, and I had it on the edge, and the meeting was over, and I got up and forgot that I had left it there and bumped the table, and the thing just kind of slipped and poof, all over the edge, and off it went and into a million pieces. So yeah, no, I wasn't happy. I was sad. I was so sad. But you know, it's okay. We've got a second one. And maybe this means, you know, we're turning a new corner. I don't know. Maybe this is, you know, we're getting to another level here. So that's what I'm hoping, right? Off with the old, on with the new, on to the second mug, you know, second layer of whatever it is we're doing here. Hopefully we're doing something right. Yeah, it was. It's like it was my first little baby. You know, I was all excited when we got our first mug with her logo on it, and I was all happy about it. And you know, we had a great meeting. But yeah, then it just kind of fell and just shattered, and that's okay. We'll be fine, right? We'll be fine. So, all right. So, cheers to you guys. You won't. Okay. So we've got a lot to talk about. Before we do that, let's go ahead and run through our food truck, because I know you guys want to get your snacks. So you got your drink. We did our little toast. Let's go out and get our little food truck rolling. There it is. Food truck is here. It's got everything for you. So go ahead and grab your snacks. We've got everything from donuts, coffee, muffins. We've got all kinds of things, cookies, anything that you can imagine is in that truck. It's all free. Go ahead and grab your snacks of whatever it is you want. We've even got the healthy stuff like the kale and the carrots. So hope you go ahead and enjoy your little snacks, because, you know, every little virtual retreat has to have snacks, right? Of course. You're gonna have 2 jamon croquetas and decaf coffee. Woo! All right. Awesome. Grab some for me too. Okay. So guys, we wrapped up last week and we were doing this a little Christmas. It's a pattern that has a table runner as well as a pillow. This is what we worked on last week. And so I went ahead and it came in this, it's a Riley Blake design that came in a nice little box with all of the fabrics included on here. And so I was able to finish up the blocks and I put them together. I did go by my mom's house yesterday and just kind of threw it on the table to see how it looked. And it's perfect for her size table. She's got a pretty large dining room table, so it looks pretty good. And then I came back and I pieced them all together. I gave it a really good press. And this is what it looks like. It's quite wide, so I'll just kind of hold it up this way, as you can see here. And so I think it came out pretty good. I was happy with it. And so now the only thing I have left to do with this table runner is I'm going to add the little border, which is just basically the scraps that are left over from the fabric. And just, it has the dimensions of what to cut it as. I don't remember what it was offhand, but they're just like little rectangles going all the way across around here on the sides and then up on the top. And then that's it. Then my top will be completed. And it basically just tells you, you know, to go ahead and use the scraps for that. But I didn't want to do that until I cut, because remember, this design is for a table runner, but it is also for a pillow. So because it's 2 different designs, I didn't want to just go ahead and take the scraps that it had and start cutting them up without cutting the dimensions for the pillow. So then I kind of went back and I did all my cuts for the pillow, and I kind of just threw them in the box here because that I can throw together really quickly. So I've got here, in here, I just kind of labeled them all, and I've got all my pieces cut up for the pillow that you're going to need. And so I threw them in the little box here. And so that's everything that I need for the pillow, minus the little border that you do on the ends here. And that I'll just use whatever's left over, right? And so that's going to finish this one. Once I put that border on here, then I do have the fabric that it gives you for the binding. And this is what the binding will be using. So it's this fabric right here, very pretty. So that'll go on the edges after the border. And I went out to Hobby Lobby and I picked up the backing fabric. I really, you know, I was a little afraid because I really didn't see too much choices in Hobby Lobby. It was kind of a little dry, but they did have a little bit of a sale. They had the sale on yarn. It was like 30% off on the yarn. And then for the fabric, it was 30%, but only for certain ones. So I was kind of a little disappointed. But I approached the lady and I asked her, you know, hey, are you going to be bringing in more fabrics now that Joann's is gone? And she just kind of indicated that they're going to be expanding the store. And it just so happens that there's a Party City store that just closed down right next door. So I think they purchased that store next door and they're going to be expanding the store that way, which is right next to where the fabric section is. So I think they're going to be expanding fabrics at a Hobby Lobby. So I don't know if it's going to happen or not. She said that's, you know, what the plan is they're going to take over that store location, which is quite large. It was a pretty big Party City store. So I don't know if they'll be expanding that way and it'll be all fabrics, or just in general, they're going to expand the store that way and just kind of bring everything in there. But that's in my area. I don't know if it's going to happen everywhere, but that's just what she said. So I wanted to kind of like give you guys the little scoop on that one. So yeah. So anyway, so I'm going to use this as my backing fabric. And oh boy, I got a lot of threads on here. A lot of little threads. Let me take off all these threads. And this is going to be the backing. I thought this was the closest that I could kind of get. Let me bring this over to the side shot here so you can see it's got, ooh, let's let it focus there for a minute. There we go. It's got a little background, so it's like red on red. But it's light enough where I didn't want it to kind of overpower anything, just keep it really simple. And then what I'm going to do is cut out the batting. I'll put a layer of batting in between. And I started looking at what I can use to go ahead and quilt this. And I saw a Designs by Juju edge to edge quilting background. And it had a really pretty one for Christmas. So I think I'm going to use that and use my embroidery machine to quilt it. Now I have a Brother SC1900 behind me. It's a 5x7 hoop. So it's going to take quite a few hoopings to do this, but that's okay. With a little patience, I'll just keep going on this and eventually it'll get all done. So, you know, I think then we'll be done with this. And this is kind of like, you know, on the side now. I'll be finishing it up, but I think it's a pretty nice project. Now, I can tell you that when I was putting together the tablecloth, I got threads everywhere. When I was putting together the tablecloth, it is really important if you, well, I won't open up the whole thing, but just make sure when you line them up, you need to pin your points. So like this green triangle here, you want it to meet on the top here, as well as the pink here. So use your fork pins. Remember, we talked about fork pins. Using these fork pins to really kind of put them on the edges and make sure that they line up before you sew it. So you're going to want to do it on the point of the green, as well as this pink colored here. And then you want this red square to line up here. So one on the top, one on the bottom. And then on the other side, you're going to want to do the triangle as well. So when you layer them together, make sure that this is nice and lined up. Start with your middle points here. You've got your middle coming across here. So that's a great indicator right here if you line this middle piece up. And then everything else should kind of fall into place. You may have to do a little bit of stretch or tug here and there, but it should line up quite nicely. And then you can just go ahead and, go ahead and sew this together. So that's what I did here. Let's see, Sandy says, make sure to set the red fabric in vinegar wash before attaching it. Yeah, we starched all of our fabrics and I treated all of my fabrics before we even started stitching. So I think we're good on that. I think we did that like on day one before we got it out here. Let's see, it's totally doable. I used my embroidery machine to quilt a large lap wall / wall hanging with mine. Its largest hoop is 4x6. Yeah, it is doable. I'm thinking it's gonna take 2 hoops for each section. Like I'll probably have to hoop this bottom piece and then this top piece, and then kind of just move this way and just kind of keep doing it that way. I think the trick is going to be to make sure that you are squared off and you're not angling, because once you start to angle, it's going to be hard to kind of, you know, kind of complete that straight line going across with the design. But as long as you mark your, you use a little template that your hoop comes with to make sure that you're nice and square, I think that will be just fine. Yeah. Okay, so that is this project, which we are pretty much done with. And then after I quilt it and bind it and all that, I'll show you guys the complete finish result. But we are pretty much done with our tabletop. I haven't, all I did was cut out the pieces for the pillow, and then I'll put that one together, but it's basically doing the block, same block that we've been doing all week. So using the stitch and flip method, just go ahead and get, oh, but speaking of the stitch and flip method, wanted to show you guys, I did get, one of you guys recommended the Creative Grids non-slip folded corner clipper. And here it is here. I have not opened it up yet, but I did go ahead and get this, and this was to help with the stitch and flip method, having to draw the diagonal line on each of the squares and then, you know, flip them and maintaining the base shape. One of you guys recommended this, so I went ahead and I got it. Haven't opened it up yet. I'm gonna watch the little video or demo on it, and we'll see. So maybe if I have the time, I'm gonna try to do it this one. Was it Celia? I think it was Celia that that gave us that tip. Let's see. Jackie says start in the middle and work out and get yourself some print and stick paper. It'll help a lot. I have tons of print and stick paper. Okay, good. Awesome. Thank you, Jackie. So I'll be working with this. So I'm slowly trying to upgrade all of my rulers and my things in my craft room. So, you know, when you first start off sewing and stuff, you get, you know, you don't know any better. You don't know what you're doing. So you're just buying the stuff that you think you need. But as you learn more and more and get all of these tools and gadgets and nicks and knacks, you start to kind of upgrade. But the upgrades are expensive. So I do it very slowly and, you know, just kind of been working through it. Oh, Marge, you love this ruler? Awesome. Okay. Awesome. Good. So, you know, I'm going to watch the little demo on it and then stay tuned for more on this one. So I was excited to receive that. So hopefully, you know, I'll keep upgrading all of my stuff little by little, right? Just, you know, it gets pricey out there, right? Okay, so before we go on to our project that we're going to be working on this week, why don't we go ahead? I think this is a good time. Let's go into our crafting news section because I do have a couple of things to let you guys know about. So let's go over to our crafting news. Okay, so we've got something a little excited to look forward to this week if you're in the Dallas, Irving, Texas area. They've got the original Sewing and Quilting Expo that's happening July the 31st through Saturday, August the 2nd at the Irving Convention Center. So these are 3 full days packed with everything that we love. It's quilting, sewing. They've got fashion shows, classes, demos, shopping, and of course, tons and tons of quilts to admire. So if you've ever dreamed about being surrounded by fabric and inspiration and people and getting that passion for crafting, that's definitely the place to be. Now the show hours are Thursday to Friday from 10 to 5:30, Saturday from 10 to 5. Admission is $10 online, $15 at the door. Kids 16 and under get in for free with an adult. You can sign up for classes using the value package between today, July the 28th, and you'll get free admission. So anything after that date will not be free. So if you're planning on going, you better get it in today. And then you've got a small $5 processing fee that applies to online orders or phone orders. So don't miss that opportunity. At the same time, we've got the North Texas Quilt Festival that's happening as well. You can see hundreds of breathtaking quilts from all competing for top honors. They've got things from the modern to traditional, so there's a little bit of everything for all to enjoy. So really nice events going on, and I think that one is a great show. Now, this Sewing and Quilting Expo is the same one that I'll be attending in Fredericksburg, Virginia. So you can check out their website on there to get more information. It's the original Sewing and Quilting Expo. They travel around to all different states, and I think it's a great, great expo. They do have a lot of vendors in there. If you're into the shopping, they've got machines that you can try out, do little make and takes, things like that. Or you can just take classes as well. So great opportunity to really get some education in your sewing and your quilting, and just, you know, talk to some of the vendors and some of the creators out there and kind of interact with other crafters. So it's a great, great event. Okay. We've also got a quick reminder about a story that we've mentioned before. Now, this one is just about to take place. So if you're anywhere near the Blue Ridge Mountains, you don't want to miss this heartwarming event. This is the Mountain Peacemakers Quilt Show, and it's happening August the 1st and 2nd from 9:30 to 4:30 in Burnsville Town Center. Yes, it is air conditioned, and this is all a part of Mount Mitchell's craft fair. And it's a cozy little quilt show that's going to be packed with a lot of inspiration and some large bed quilts and wall hangings. They're going to have fiber arts and other service projects. You'll find a little country store that's going to be full of a lot of little sewing goodies as well. And they got a special guild that is going to have their booth out there as well. Let's see. Now, the Mountain Peacemakers are showing off their 2025 opportunity quilt. And this one's really a stunner. It's called the Cabin in the Stars. It's made with rich batik fabrics, and they're quilted by hand on a long arm machine. So pretty cool. This was done by a local guild member, and it is measuring 90 by 106 inches. So pretty large. Pretty large, but tickets are on sale now, and the proceeds go to making hero quilts for local veterans and the Project Linus quilts for the children in need. So pretty neat event going on there. Okay, so that is the news that I have for you that's going out there. So if you're in any of those areas, check them out. Alrighty, so let's get to our project that we're going to be working on this week. I kind of already gave you a little bit of a hint. This is going to be a short little project that we'll be able to finish up this week. And this is by the Whole Country Caboodle. It is the Ho 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 Pillow Wrap and Cover Kit. And this is what it looks like here. Let me bring it over to our dust cam here so you can get a closer look. And I'm going to try to take it out of the wrap so it gets the glare off. Let me open this up and bring over that cover so you can see. That's a little better. Okay, so the Whole Country Caboodle, here it is. We've got the pillow wrap and the pillow itself. I mean, really cute for any holiday. It's great for, you know, for Christmas, but the Country Caboodle has a bunch of these pillow wraps for all different seasons. This happens to be the one for Christmas, but they've got all seasons for autumn, summer. I mean, it's a whole line of different designs that you can get, which is really cool. Now, I'm not affiliated with them, but I did put the link down below if you guys are interested and care to do this. I actually picked this up at the Cotton Patch Quilt Shop when I went to visit them. Was it last year? And I didn't get to make the project, so I'm going to be making it this year. But it is still available. I've seen it, and I think it's really neat. You can check out the video if you want. I visited the Cotton Patch Quilt Shop and went around the store and showed everything that they had. They have some pretty amazing quilts and things in there, and all kinds of little knickknacks. And she does a little Sunday soiree where you can purchase things online as well. So that's a lot of fun if you haven't caught that. So lots of fun on that. So let's see what's included in the kit. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up, and pretty much has everything that we need to get started. Puts a little baggie here. So first off, of course, we've got our instructions. What size pillow is used? It's a 14 by 20 inch pillow size is what this is here. 14 by 20 inch, and it tells you here the finished size applique is 8 by 9.5 inches. The pillow, it says 13 by 18.5, but it tells you to get a 14 by 20 insert, pillow insert. The pillow wrap measures at 9 by 30 inches on there. So pretty nice, decent size for you to put on your bench there. And you can have a cute little wrap. I love that you can kind of take the wrap off and you're just going to have the pillow, and you can change your wrap. So if you get different ones, like this is the Christmas one, you can change it out to autumn, or the summer one. Like there's all these different wraps that you can make, and you can just leave the pillow the way it is and just swap out the wrap itself. I think that's pretty cool that you can do that. So pretty neat. It's a cute little kit, and it seems to have everything that we need. So this is, let me move this over to the side so it doesn't go flying. Let's start off with here. This is the pillow itself, which you're going to make, right? So it gives you, it's a tea towel, basically, what they're giving you here. So they give you this tea towel, and you're going to make this into the pillow. And so really nice fabric. And I found a thread that I can match perfectly with this, because you want to use your matching thread so that your stitches don't show. So I'm using a nice little thread here that I've got on my machine. It's kind of like an olive green, so I think it's pretty cool. Cotton Patch is a Karen Montgomery silk. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And she has the fabrics. And I believe in the video, if you caught my video, she showed us the fabrics. I think it was from last year. But yeah, she's great. Laura is a really, really nice person, and she's got her little doggies in the store as well. So you can check them out because they're pretty cool. Really nice. And they have beautiful things there. So you can check out that video because she's got a lot of things there. She's in Bradenton, Florida. And I was able to catch her and stop by and say hello, and she allowed me to video the store, and we got some goodies and shopped a lot that weekend. And so I showed off some of the stuff that I was able to buy, and we kind of filmed around her store, and really she has a beautiful store there. So lots and lots of fun, and she does some classes there as well, so you may want to check out the schedule that she's got there. Okay, so this is the little pillow or tea towel that you're going to turn into the pillow. And then it's got the Velcro that you're going to be using for the pillow wrap. So it gives you a generous piece right here. And the pattern does tell you to cut it up into pieces. And that's what you're going to use to make the pillow and secure the wrap into place. Then it also gives you some of the rickrack stuff. So we've got really nice, generous little rickrack here, and I think this is really beautiful. And this is what it's going to go off to the sides here. So you can see on the pillow wrap, you've got that rickrack off to the side, which really makes it really nice. It gives it that little accent to it. So I think that's pretty cool. Then you also have this fabric here, this little gym hem. And this is also this kind of used as your binding here. So she does bind it on the side here and then adds the rickrack. So that's pretty cool. And that's what this one's for. And let's see, then you've got this background fabric here, this nice little green with a swirl. I thought this was really pretty. Let me put this over to the side so you can see it. Try to open it up here. And I thought it was really pretty. I love the little swirls on here. And so the background quilting is kind of similar that I was looking at. It has a little bit of a swirl to it. So I think it'll go well with that table runner that I had was using the swirl. And then you've got this pillow wrap also kind of having a swirl. So that's pretty cool. So I like this. And it's this part right here in the back. And then we also have, she's got some R foam fusible right here, pretty thick. It is the fusible ones, which is nice. And then we have the applique that is cut up. And since it's already cut up, I do not need to cut the pieces out on my scan and cut. However, let me just show you on here. Kind of take them all out. We've got all the little pieces, but if you wanted to make a second one, you certainly can, and I'll tell you that in just a minute. So here is the what they call the little beard here. So it's all cut up already, and it's got the little hat piece that goes somewhere over here. And then we've got the little headband somewhere here. The little nose and I guess the eyes will go there, but it also gives you some embellishments. So it's got this little button here that you can put somewhere around here, I believe. And then it's got this little holly that is cut up. It's just I have to pull them apart. And that one will go somewhere around here once I pull it apart. And it has a little button that you can put on here as well. So pretty neat. See how I kind of got put together really quickly there. But within the instructions themselves, it does give you, I can pull it out here. It gives you the layout right here. And so here's the layout of the Santa. And so you could kind of use this if you wanted to make a second one out of your own fabric instead of the fabric that it came with. And you wanted to pre-cut your pieces in the scan and cut, then you can do that because it gives you here the layout, and it shows you kind of where everything falls. And so you can use that as like your placement guide, but it also gives you here on the other side of it, all of the different pieces. And I know this is kind of large, so it won't fit. The whole thing won't fit at once here, but it gives you all the pieces here that you can use your scan and cut with. So what you can do is then take this and scan it with your scan and cut and put all of these pieces in place. And then what we can do is choose our fabrics, right? Cut these pieces with our scan and cut, and then you can kind of move the pieces and put your entire Santa in place, and then you can do that in Brilliance, build up the actual Santa, and then send it to your embroidery machine and have the embroidery machine do the blanket stitch and all the pieces for you, right? So you can actually design that from your canvas workspace. You can kind of pull that together and then send it to your embroidery machine and have the embroidery machine do it, because the instructions itself will tell you that once you have put this applique together, it tells you to go ahead and do a blanket stitch. And so you would manually go with your sewing machine and just go in there and do the blanket stitch all the way around. And then it tells you to quilt the little swirly lines in the beard. So I don't want to do that with my sewing machine. I rather have my embroidery machine do it. So I am going to try to scan the pieces. Even though I have this already cut out, I don't need it to cut my fabrics for me, but I do want to create the embroidery file and send that embroidery file over to my machine and have the machine kind of stitch this out for me. So it's going to be a little challenging because I do need to see if this beard is going to be able to fit in the hoops. So I'll have to see what challenges I have with this, but all of the other pieces here on the top should fit quite nicely in the hoop size that I have. So I should be able to do all of that and pull that together. So we'll see how that goes, right? Because, you know, we do this live and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, right? But it's a lot of fun doing it together with you guys. So I really like this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. Sorry. Okay, let's put all this back inside because I don't want to lose any of these little pieces here. Got to get it in the bag. Again, it comes with that little embellishment. So if you're making a second one, you can get the little button and the little snowflake. Even from your local Walmart, they have these little specialized buttons. And if you look in their craft section, you should be able to find one that will match it. So it should be fine with that. Okay. Alrighty. So let's get started on this, shall we? Because I think we can do a pretty good piece of it right now, which is just the start of it, but that's okay because we've got the whole week that we're going to be looking at this. I'm going to grab one more sip of water. Okay. Sorry about that. I was getting a little tickle on my throat there. Okay, so I'm going to put all of these to the side because the only piece we're going to be working with right now is the tea towel. Okay, so you're going to pull out the tea towel and I'll put these to the side as well. And then I'm going to open this up here. Okay, and I'm going to lay this, actually I'm going to lay it this way. So I've got the bottom of the tea towel towards me here. And I'm facing it right side up. And I guess I need to take these little labels off that come on the tea towel, right? This is a really nice quality tea towel. You can tell the fabric is really, really nice. Now, the first thing I want to do is iron this and get all the creases out. Okay. But the directions, I kind of read the directions on the first few steps, and it does tell you to lay out the tea towel right side up, and it tells you to take the top half of the tea towel and to bring it down. I believe it was at 9.5 inches. Yeah, so this part is pretty important for you to kind of have this correct. And let me just put these over to the side. Here we go. So you'll want to kind of fold that down here, and then you're going to bring the bottom up about 5 inches. But the main point, and it said in here that each of the tea towels may be off a little bit, but the main idea of this whole piece right here is to make sure that you have 1.5 inches of overlap between the top edge of the tea towel and the bottom edge of the tea towel. So you'll want to measure that out. So let me just grab my small little ruler. That should be enough. And I'm basically going to measure on here 1.5 inches from the bottom to the top. Okay, let me do it this way. It makes it a little easier to see. So I'm going to be right here at 1.5 inches and make sure my overlap is right there. And then you'll want to check the other side as well to make sure it's nice and even. But you have 1.5 inches of overlap with the bottom portion of the tea towel being on top of the top piece. Okay, so bottom is the one that you're looking at, and just line that up. And then we're going to pin this together here, and we're going to go to our sewing machine, and we're going to sew right along the edge here that you have of the tea towel, and we're going to sew all the way down, coming all the way down here on this side, and you're going to do the same thing on the other side here, just bringing that stitch all the way down. So first thing we need to do is give this a nice good press, and then we're going to come back and line that up and just sew these all the way down. And that's going to leave you with this opening right here, which is where you're going to be able to put in your pillow after we flip this inside out, right? And then these will be nice and secure and shut closed. So the opening will always be here for you to be able to take out the pillow if in case you want to wash it or something like that. So makes it really nice here. So now let me just grab my little iron, and we're going to iron this down. And then I'm not sure if we're going to have enough time, but what I'll be doing in case we run out of time, I'll go ahead and sew these sides down with that 1.5 inch overlap from the top of my tea towel and the bottom of my tea towel. So again, 1.5 inch of overlap. That's super important. If you do that, it should measure 9.5 this way, but if it doesn't, it tells you that it's okay because each of the tea towels are just a little bit off. So it can be off. And then the bottom piece would measure about 5 inches. So if you're a little off on that, don't worry about that. Just make sure that you are 1.5 inches with overlap here. That's the most important part, because you need to give it that space to have that overlap so that you can have this open and the pillow comes in and out. But the overlap's important because if you do this a little too short and then you put your pillow in, your pillow is going to be sticking out once you have it in there because it's just too much bulk of the pillow itself. And you don't want the pillow kind of showing in the back here. So that 1.5 inch overlap is what's going to cover that up while keeping it nice and closed into the casing here. So very important that you keep that overlap and measured out nicely and put down well. Okay, let's see. Any questions out here? I think we are good. So let's get this out. And let's see. Oh, great snapplique project. It is, Harriet. It's going to be a really nice one because if you look at the design that they give you, there's really not that many pieces. It's not very complex itself. So, you know, you basically just have the beard and everything's pretty much seems nice and closed. There's really not much open pieces here. So it's really not too bad. You've got the hat, you know, you've got the little rim for it, the little holly leaves. Everything is small enough. You can get this into a scan. Now, I don't think, and let me just check right here real quick. Yeah, this is not going to fit when you're scanning this. It's not going to fit on a 12 by 12 inch mat. You do have to have the 12 by 24, unless you can always kind of cut this or scan half of it and then scan the other half. But the beard itself pretty much takes most of the space, and then you can scan again and do the other half just by kind of folding it here and just discarding this piece right here. So, you know, you can do it that way where you'll have to scan it twice into 2 pieces to fit the 12 by 12 inch mat. But if you have the 12 by 24 inch mat, then you can just put this in there and scan it all at once and get all the pieces in one shot. So either way, it's fine. It's just using the 12 by 12 is just going to allow you to do it, scan it twice. And so you'll have 2 files to work with versus 1. But it's all fine because all these little pieces can fit into one, and then you'll just have the beard in the other. So not too bad. Not too bad at all, but great snapplique project. And it'll allow the blanket stitch to be stitched out here by the embroidery machine, and I won't have to do it by hand on my sewing machine. So it really is neat. The trick will be to make sure that we maintain this shape. And if you look at the applique pieces, you want to make sure that it fits, right? So let me grab the beard. That's probably the easiest one to show here. It's nice and big. So here's that beard piece right here. And you can see it fits perfectly on here, right? Completely perfect. So the idea is if this is already pre-cut for you, I don't have to ask the Scan and Cut to pre-cut it. And it also has some adhesive behind it. So it's got that paper backing. So you just have to peel that off, and it has the adhesive to glue on to the pillow wrap. But the idea is if this is already cut out and this placement here is the template's already cut out in the same shape, when I send it over, I don't have to resize anything. I'm going to keep it exactly the same size because this is the size that you want. You're just basically telling your embroidery machine, actually you're going to go into Embrilliance and you're going to tell Embrilliance to add that blanket stitch, make it an embroidery file and do the blanket stitch for me. And so you can go in and have it do the blanket stitch around all the little pieces, and then you don't have to do it on your machine. So it just makes it so simple to do. And then it also makes it very accurate because the embroidery machine is going to stitch it right where you toed it. And since we've got the template as well as the cuts here that they gave you, it just makes it easy. And if you want to go ahead and use this to cut up, maybe you want to make a separate pillowcase with your own fabrics, you've already got the template on here. And if you scan it into your Scan and Cut, then you can also tell the Scan and Cut to go ahead and cut the fabric for you. And it'll give you that exact size. So no cutting for you. Let the machine do the cutting for you. It's awesome. Okay, so I think this is going to be a really nice project. We've got all our little pieces in place. And like I said, the first step is really just putting the tea towel and turning it into the pillow. You're going to need to get a 14 by 20 inch pillow insert, which I have already ordered. It's on its way, so I'll get it later this week. So I'm going to go ahead and sew these in place tonight, and then tomorrow we'll have our little pillow casing. It's just a simple straight stitch, closing the casing. Again, just making sure you have the 1.5 inch overlap here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that tonight. So we'll have this all ready to go, and then tomorrow we can start working on the snapplique process, right? So we're getting all of our pieces scanned into our Scan and Cut, and cutting the pieces out are already cut up, so we don't have to do it. But if you want to make an additional one, you can cut the fabric out. But then we're going to play around in Embrilliance and pull this together and send it to our embroidery machine. So it should be a lot of fun. So I hope you guys join me on that journey this week, because we really have a lot of fun just putting these together. So this will be our last Christmas in July project that we've made, and I think we did pretty good making 3 projects in the 1 month. We made that beautiful embroidery little blanket there, and then we had the table runner, We've got the pillow that comes along with it that you can also make using the same techniques, same patterns. And then we're going to wrap it up with our pillow wrap. So it's been a fun month and we had a great time doing all the Christmas and July stuff. So I hope you guys really enjoyed that. And then we'll be going on to the next month. And we've got a very busy last half of the year because Christmas is around the corner and we definitely have just a few items to get in and your projects that need to get done before the end of the year. Okay, so what I want to do now, oh, one thing I forgot to do was show you guys these scraps that were left over from that other project. These are all after I've cut up the table runner and I cut up the pieces for the pillow. This is all the fabric scraps that I was left with. And this is what's going to be used for the border for the pillow, as well as the border for the tablecloth. So the table runner, sorry. And so these are the fabrics that I'm going to be used. And remember that extra piece that I wasn't sure about? Well, turns out now is when I'm going to be using it, right? So this was that extra piece of fabric that I couldn't figure out what I had. But yeah, it was pretty neat. Oh, JBL says, I'm amazed at how much you get done while working full time. Yes, I work full time. I have a 40-hour job, a week job, but you know, I get it done during the hour with you guys here. So I bring you on to my sewing journey, and then I get a little bit of stitching time at night, you know, after dinner, dishes and all that stuff is done. So yeah, I do try to get a lot of things in because this is the time of the year and I want to get all of that in place. Alrighty, so we've only got a few minutes left, so I'm going to go ahead and move us over to our inspirational quote of the day. So let's head over to that. Okay, today's quote of the day is, a little holiday magic starts with fabric, thread, and time set aside just for crafting. So exactly like we were just talking about, yeah, you got to set that time aside for crafting. Just keep yourself on schedule. Know what you want to get accomplished by the end of the year and really set your goals and set yourself into a environment that you know you're going to be successful in. Just try to stay focused on that. Okay, guys, so that is all I have. And I hope you guys are going to be with me on my sewing journey for this project, because I think this is really going to be loads and loads of fun to do. And a nice little snap-applique project to kind of practice our skills on that one. Alrighty, so we like to support all of our YouTuber out there, and we've got Becky who's coming up from Power Tools with Thread, and I'm really excited to see how it went on the classes that she was teaching. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope you guys join us on her channel as well and support other YouTubers with their content as well. They do work really hard getting all this in place. It is a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun to do, and I'm glad that you guys are here with me. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate all of the support that you guys give me, and I hope you have a fantastic day, and I hope to be crafting with you soon. Bye, everyone.
So long for now, so long. Glad you stayed a while. Hope you liked my crafting style. Hope I left you with a smile. By now, keep your mind and space clutter-free. Hope your day is bright as can be. So long, my friends, till we craft once again. Bye now, stay crafting. See you tomorrow. So long, my friends, till we craft once again.